So this one is going to go a little bit in reverse. Usually when you do rankings for any series, you go with your favorites, then the worst. And Nightmare on Elm Street is very strange. It's a very strange series, by far. It's also very popular, so it's such a weird mix of mainstream people and more edgy people who get into Freddy. So I'm going to go with my top worst. I'm not even going to do like a full ranking, like, well, right, what's number 5, what's number 6, number 7. So these are not in order, but for me, these are the weaker chapters. And again, I find it interesting people just include Freddy versus Jason, where I'm like, does that really count as a Freddy film? But I'm going to include that in as well as the remake. So it's not going to be a real shock as to what I put on the bottom, which is, yeah, obviously the 2010 version, which is like, the more I think about it, it's like, wow, that thing is so problematic. But I'll give this away. In terms of the bottom, and again, I know this is going to be controversial because, the 2010 version does it's at least gritty. Like certain scenes are at least gritty. They spent time and money to make the dream sequences interesting. And I'll defend them on one point because people are like, one scene is very controversial. Even people who like or dislike it are like, huh? Where Freddy forces someone into the dream world even while they're awake. Which is like, can he do that? Well, to be fair, this is where I'm going to get to the worst one, which to me is part 2. I know most people are just, the original series is all beloved, except Freddy's Dead. A lot of people just like to beat up on Freddy's Dead. I actually defend Freddy's Dead a little bit, but don't worry, it's on the list. So, yeah, I forgot how problematic part 2 is. For those who have forgotten, it's the one where Freddy decides to outright possess a young kid's body and come back into the real world. Why? Don't know. Wouldn't that make him vulnerable? Whatever. So Freddy's like, it's got to be one of the most bizarre chapters of the whole Nightmare series, which says a lot because New Nightmare is this very interesting, like Scream-like movie within a movie, but whatever. But yeah, that's the body possession. Freddy's revenge. Like, how's that revenge? I don't even know. Anyway, it's the character just struggles like, I'm becoming Freddy, now the horror. And yes, it has a lot of gay allusions, gay subtext. And again, I'm not homophobic, but it's like, you're like, yeah, there's a lot of emphasis on naked guys, and he goes to some kind of weird bar. And I'm like, this weird, controversial gym sequence. I'm like, what exactly is this thing? And Freddy sounds fine. That's probably the only high point here. Yeah, whenever Robert does Freddy, he gives everything, 100%. He's never slacking. But it just feels like this doesn't feel like Freddy, except for the first sequence. Like the beginning is like, okay, this feels like a Nightmare film. The rest feels like we're doing a tangent film, which is called Nightmare on Elm Street, but really has no connection. So, yeah, it also has no connection to the other films. Thank God. So it is what it is. It's a weird one-and-done, bizarre chapter. But I can't say much about it that's good, except the beginning, which is like, okay. But a lot of Nightmare films have great beginnings. So I'm going to put part 2 at the bottom. And then, of course, we get to the usual, like Freddy versus Jason does have a lot of great sequences, a lot of great scenes. I'm not going to deny it. I just didn't like fundamentally where they went with the characters. I just felt like there's such potential, and they just dumped it down to Freddy's going to fight Jason. That's it. It would have made more sense that they worked together, but that's me. But if you're going to do a versus thing, there's no real buildup. It's just like Freddy's like angry that Jason kills too many kids. Like, no, Jason, they were mine. That's about it. And the other characters are just so forgettable. It's just felt like, yeah, it's not much here, but it does look visually powerful in a few places. Like Robert is physically doing a lot of great acting. He's giving everything. So there's that, but it's not a chapter I want to go back to many times. There's good scenes. I go back to the good scenes and try to forget the rest of the insanity. And that brings us to the remake, which is like, there are so many things to pick on. Like, They just give a very different version of Freddy, different version of everything: the makeup, the dream sequences, the introduced elements, which a lot of fans really loved, like the micro sleep thing. And I'm like, okay. The director didn't want to do it. And they made so many bizarre choices. And it's not even creative. Like, oh, Freddy's face now looks like he's not even burned. It just feels like totally different. It doesn't even make sense. And it's borrowed from Christopher Nolan. They're doing like a Two-Face thing. Like, wow, like your face isn't even there. It's that badly burned. Okay. And like Jackie's a great actor, and he is trying, but he clearly is not really a fan of the series. Doesn't take it too seriously. Just thinks it's all silly a joke. And again, the voice acting is fine. I think it's a really interesting, different choice, and it does fit the character because Freddy's short. That's probably what really stands out, which you never notice. I honestly never noticed for a long time. Like, oh yeah, Freddy's kind of short. So again, good main performance, but yeah, it just seems like everyone's like clocked out. It's all very corporate. They're going through the motions, and even the ideas of just remaking the first film don't hold up, because instead of just having the great practical effects that 1984 had, it's just CGI monstrosity, and some of it just looks really bad. Even now, you're like, but that's it. Some of the dream sequences, they put a lot of effort in. Those look good, but a lot of places like look visually dodgy. This story's like thin paper. Like, we think Freddy's innocent for a while, then it's like, no, he's not innocent. The kids misremembered stuff for reasons, and it just ends like the original ends, and it's like not much is being brought to the table. So yeah. So there we go. Okay, so now let's get to the other two, and we got to pick something from the original series. So I'm like, I don't know. And listen, I actually do like Dream Child a lot, so I don't mind the ideas in Dream Child. And just to be fair, apparently Wes Craven himself, in his version of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, actually did have a certain idea of having, quote, a dream child. But his version was much more gnarly and much more graphic. But the thing with Dream Child is it feels like they're exhausted, right? We have a very small set of characters. The dream sequences are well done, but it just feels like they're running out of ideas. That said, they're going out with a bang. It does look really good in a lot of places. And Freddy's quotes are amazing and all that. And I do like that they're continuing Alice's story, but it just feels like they don't quite know where to go. So it just feels like more of the same, like Freddy's just tormenting a new group of people. The basic story is kind of weak, like, oh, he's infecting a child because children are asleep. New twist. And this child apparently could time travel and do a Paul Atreides and be a young kid in his 5, 6, and how would this kid even know what his father looks like? But apparently, because yeah, there's just a lot of things that don't really hang together. They're trying to find some new entry point. And again, if they kept going down this route, they could have done something interesting. But really, it's just like, okay, we want Alice back. But they want to do something creative for the sequel, which is fine, right? Because the Dream Master left with, it put them in a bit of a rough spot. Okay, if she's the Dream Master, she's incredibly powerful, so what can we do here? Oh, she's pregnant. We've never done that before. Okay, I guess. There you go. Innovation. But it's not a bad film. It just feels like we don't know where to go, so we're just going to add horror dream sequence and just insert it. But visually looks great. Some very creative kills and sequences, like the motorcycle sequence, but not a lot here. Not a lot here. And it does pain me because I think Freddy's Dead is actually very underrated. So I'm just going to give the brief defense before, because the bad things are obvious to tick off. So this time around, we get a massive twist, which makes no sense whatsoever, that Freddy had a daughter that was taken away from him and kept secret for decades. Also, he managed to kill off thousands of people and has traumatized the whole town. Oh, spoiler alert, the daughter lives next door in another town, conveniently not too far away. And Freddy needs the daughter to continue becoming even more Freddy and infect the universe. Alrighty then. So there are so many bad things here. Everyone's gone through their favorite bad parts of this thing. That the makeup now looks a little too plastic. This is one of the worst looking Freddys. But again, there's a lot to like here as well. Like visually, like they do try some creative things. Like they're really going into the mythology of Freddy, which I really enjoy. But this thing feels very rushed. And it is. There's a lot of missing minutes in the canonical version. Apparently the theatrical version was much longer. I've already done a video on that. You can go there. So this thing goes by real quick. And the same problem that Dream Child had, this thing has too. Like, we're just presenting a short cast because we don't have the money. So he's going to kill about 3 kids in a creative way. And some of these are very creative, right? Like getting a kid into the television set. Like Carlos, Lend Me Your Ear. Some very creative kills here. But again, story-wise, structure-wise, I mean, this thing really is pointless. And it's sort of like, why would... Because really it's breaking the fourth wall where Freddy... And he does. Freddy even talks to us outright. Just like Freddy versus Jason in some scenes. Clearly, he's talking to us. He's not in the movie. So they're doing some brave, bold things. But it's so quick. And... you just have to go with the film's energy and story, and it's just a little bit too much, right? Even for Freddy. So if they had just been a little bit more careful or more balanced with the tone, but again, has a really great ending, and they do keep their promise. Freddy's dead. They don't resurrect him. So you got to give them points, but yeah, the basic story is just too weak. And I do actually like these characters. These characters are actually memorable, which is a miracle given how quick everything goes with Carlos, Maggie, Doc. These characters are memorable. So having the small cast did benefit the film. But at the same time, I think a different route would have been better. And the extended scenes do help, but ultimately it just feels like, okay, we're at an end. We're just going to kill him off and start over because we're stuck. And it just does canonically things that I'm not comfortable with. Like the canon is already screwy enough, but like some parts here are like where the daughter witnesses Freddy killing the mother and just forgets. So I'm like, huh? Yeah, so very flawed finale. Obviously the real ending is now New Nightmare, but still, it does have high points. Like Freddy versus Jason, it does have its fans. And I'm more of a defender here than a hater, but yeah, this thing has quite a few flaws. Probably less than the 2010 version, but it's a very weird ending to Freddy. I wish I could say it's like a really brilliant weird ending, but more like, it's weird, we're ending it, stop, Freddy's dead, Dynamite kills him, goodbye. But the sequence at the end, stick for that. The musical ending is incredible, but when the best thing about your film is the musical montage at the end, you probably needed to do a better job with the actual main film. And there we are.